forward. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Ruben. I'm in Miami right now, and you say something that I really liked, and it's like in first season, Shadow and Bilkis, they were my two favorite characters. They were opposite characters, and Shadow, it was like searching something with his wife, and something happened, and things happen. Too many things happen to him. Uh, as an actor, you have to sometimes you have to create a character, but you are creating character. You both actors creating character from guts, from something that we never seen or like imagined. Like you can create your own God based on your beliefs. How you two as an actors, you sit with a writer and create how this character is gonna be, how this character is gonna look, and the behaving of this character through all three seasons.
I mean, first off, we've got, we can't not mention Neil Gaiman, who is, as we call him, the God's father. He's the person that came in with the source material that we get to play with. And so being a huge Neil Gaiman fan myself, being a huge geek, I had, read this book years ago, and Bilk was definitely made an impression. And I can't believe that we found actual Shadow in real life, what he acts and talks like. So that's, that's a huge plus for casting. That was Orly Sidowitz and
Marjorie Simpkin.
Marjorie Simpkins, thank you. And they were incredible. But you had the source material, and you had some certain ideas that went into it. And for example, with Bilquis, we had this Queen of Sheba concept. And so I was able to dig into that. As far as with the writing, we've been so lucky where we have individuals that also come in with all of their incredible knowledge and ideas and get to collaborate. And it really ties into this season and that concept that Ricky mentioned of I as we, where you have something that is only strengthened and deepened by different individuals being able to come in and add their expertise as well. Then you have, again, as Ricky mentioned, you have hair and you have makeup. Ethelene Joseph, yes, who also brought in Charlene, who's incredible. I have to shout her out as well. That lady could braid in like 40 minutes. It was...
She was amazing. Blessings. So every morning you come in and she says blessings, and she just brings a smile to your face. Big love to every department. I love this family.
Exactly, every department. That's makeup as well. I mean, there are moments that you'll see and hear where you go into close up, and Colin Penman, or Emmy-winning Colin Penman, as we call him, he then created designs based off of a peacock feather for eyeshadow. And these are tiny details that, people at home may not always see, but they add so much depth to the character. So you mentioned being able to speak with the writers, which is incredible and such a privilege, but it's also so many different departments going into layers and layers that add to the characters. So by the time you get to the third season, it does feel like you are taking that journey with the character, where every element down to nail polish, which you might have noticed, you'll see in episode 1 for Bilquis, episode 1 and 2, and then you start to see it chip away. And that is also revealing that that she's further returning to herself.
I mean, Bilquis is kind of scary in the first season as a guy, like
in the first, as a guy. That's not the first time I've heard that. And I still hear it sometimes for this season as well. But I love that though. I love that you see this idea of love, that it can be, it can be one thing, and it can be, but a lot of people see it as very passive, but it also has such strength and such awe-inspiring heights within it as well. And I think that's women. And I mean, speak of Black women, there's awe-inspiring individuals all around that are continually doing things that feel almost impossible and doing it continuously. And so I love that Bilquis is this character that is often underestimated, is often being brought in and tied in by other people's expectations, and then always continues to defy them and always continues to liberate herself within it. And so, but this is all something that occurs because we get to work with so many talented individuals and people that are as passionate about the characters as we are. And we see that go as a through line with all the different characters as they go through their journeys.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because I feel that in the book, the only constant really is Shadow, Wednesday, and Laura. And so I feel this kind of responsibility to Neil Gaiman and his fans, who have kind of had this book in their hearts since 2001, to portray a character that they're familiar with, to portray Shadow Moon as they know. I worked with Brian Fuller and Michael Green in season 1 to kind of spruce him up a little bit for TV, because in the book we're always in his head, and that would be a very kind of slow show. So I've always felt obligated to kind of keep him a little bit more flatlined. And like I said before, I kind of like to layer him slowly. So, you know, at season 4, you're going to get full on Avenger. No, but it's kind of building that slowly. Whereas I feel a lot of the other characters, like a Bilquis, like a Tech Boy, like Salim and Laura and Wednesday, they've been able to come off book a little bit more. Shadow's the one who's in Lakeside. I'm following my favorite part of the book, of Neil Gaiman's book, which is in Lakeside. But we do still kind of drift here and there. And it's kind of like Neil had his kids, and then they got to a certain age and he's letting them go off, and you know, they've moved out of the house, and he said, go and be you. And, you know, it's a beautiful, liberating thing for the creator of your world, the creator of your character, to say, no, that's yours now. So I trust you, I believe in you, and go and be you. And he's allowed all of our characters, like Bilquis, who's now really coming to the forefront. I don't think, and I don't want to speak for you, Yetide, I'll let you say it, but I personally, I feel this is the most powerful and seen she's been in 3 seasons. I was saying before we came online that, and I always say it, but it is a gift to work with this talent and to see her develop a character beyond what was on the page. And she really comes to the forefront as a powerful, strong character, this beautiful kind of deity who's finding herself. And her storyline this season that she's been given and written for is just so wonderful to watch on so many different levels, that she's finding herself, she's finding her inner strength, which I feel inspires Black women worldwide and women in general. And then she's using that to give love. It's not just an individual thing. She's not just content with that. She then wants to spread that love around and kind of, she's a beautiful message for the world. And, you know, I have nothing but admiration for actors like Yetide who were able to kind of bring that to a character, because it could have gone so many different ways. And that's like, as we mentioned with our incredible casting, where they got it completely perfect. They found an actress who was stunning and incredible and able to not only give you a book character, but take that, run with it, and create something so much more and magical. And I know Neil Gaiman is obsessed with Yetide and her performances, because he's so proud of her.
I mean, I'm not crying. There's just something in my eye. That's not
I'm
cute.
not crying. You're crying. Stop it. Crying. If you cry, I'll cry. Don't do this.
No crying, Ricky. There's no crying in American Gods. No, that's not true.
There's no crying in baseball. But no, I genuinely have nothing but admiration for all those guys. And sometimes there's a little bit of jealousy, because I do have to kind of feel like I have to stick to the book, and I frame all these colorful, beautiful gods doing all these kind of fun, crazy things. But they've also allowed me to kind of have some fun too. And like I say, I'm slowly building this character. It was a bit of a risk at first, but now I'm able to kind of add these layers. It's been a lot of fun. I'm working with Neil Gaiman, working with Chig Egley and that writing team, and even the actors as well, because I can go home and learn my lines. I can know that script back to front to back. But if I come to set and Yetide hits me with something that I'm not expecting, which sometimes she does because she's just wonderful and likes to think outside the box, you have to react. And so something new and fresh and beautiful comes out. And in our show, you can just roll with it. You can just kind of ad lib and go a little bit. And so, you know, you have to stay on your toes as well. So sometimes it's thought out and planned with our creative team. Other times it's stuff that you kind of work on and research yourself. And then sometimes you have that magical moment on set where something beautiful just forms out of nothing between a director and the cast.
Right, and I have to add here because, you know, Ricky, the way that you play Shadow is such an incredible backbone for the show. And it's not an easy feat. I don't think a lot of people understand
Yeah.
the amount that goes into what Shadow Moon does, because he has to ground this world that's filled with all kinds of strange deities and ideas as well, and also be the lens that the viewer looks through. And so I think I'm always amazed when I see the work that you do, and I'm particularly excited for everyone to see this season and the agency and everything that Shadow has. But I wanted to also add to that, we're talking about some writers, and I know people will now have been able to see episode 4, which was written by Nick Gilley. And
wonderful.
He is incredible. One of the people that made me initially incredibly excited for this season, because Ricky and I got to see a show that he had written, a one-man show called Goddess Black. And, you know, going into a new season, you know, there's always some moments of trepidation. What exactly is going to happen when you haven't seen the scripts yet? You know, what's that going to shape into? But after seeing this incredible performance and just the layers that went into the writing, the ideology, the intelligence, all of that, I couldn't wait to get started. And so I just wanted to give a special shout to Nick Gilley, because everyone should have seen the episode by now, and his work is wonderful.
And a big shout out to his new project as well, Bedtime Stories. It's black-university.com, where they're kind of doing some really beautiful work and kind of trying to change the perception in life of various words that kind of have shaped society. And it's about reclaiming that power and that love.
Thank you, guys.